It's Kaufman is Alive. I look at comic books new and old. Today I'm looking at all the new comics I picked up at the comic book shop today. And the comic book shop was pretty packed when I got there today. They were busy. People were buying lots of comics. I had a bunch of comics on pull this week. They didn't even get around to calling everybody on their pull list. There's actually so much coming out this week that so many people were interested in, including me. So the big one, of course, was Batman Hush 2, Batman number 158. I got some free preview books. I got the IDW, the DC, and the Marvel previews. And I also got this Batman Hush Ashcan edition of Batman 159 that was free as well. That came with a purchase here. So, and I got the foil cover for Batman Hush 2 here. Again, this is issue 158. It's we've got Jim Lee, Scott Williams doing the artwork here, and Jeff Loeb doing the writing. The big return to Batman and just drawing interiors in general for Jim Lee. Take a look at some of this Ashcan. It's all just in black and white, obviously, is what makes it the Ashcan, and it's a smaller version. Definitely a collector's item. They only had maybe, I don't know how many copies they had, maybe like 50 of these, and once they're gone, they're gone. So thankfully, I had the day off today, so I was able to get to my comic shop right when they opened, and it looks like I wasn't alone. There was a lot of people there picking up this comic as well. But Jim Lee, I mean, obviously tons of work at Marvel, notorious for his X-Men run, Punisher, Fantastic Four, some Iron Man in there, and then he went to Image and started Wildcats. Eventually sold Wildcats, his entire Wildstorm catalog to Image. From Image to DC, and then he became the president over at DC, and now he just pretty much runs the whole thing. But he hasn't been drawing interiors for a long time, maybe not since his original Hush series with Jeff Loeb. I'm not sure about that. He's probably done some comics here and there, but he hasn't really had a full run on anything. And I think he's doing the next 6 issues here in Batman. So really fun to see Jim Lee here, back doing interiors again. I'll definitely be coming out with a review of this comic very quickly, along with all the comics I picked up today. They're going to keep me busy for the next couple weeks for sure. There's actually even a few comics I wanted to get this week that were on my pull that I put back just because there were so many. Uncanny X-Men, the newest issue of that, I think it's issue 11. And Justice League Unlimited, number, I think it's 5. They were both... those are both comics that I've picked up every issue of so far in those series, so I'll probably go back around and pick them up in the next week or two. They'll probably still be on the shelf, I would imagine. Although when I went to Half Price Books yesterday, they had copies of all the new X-Men books, multiple copies at half price, so kind of makes me feel like a sucker spending $4.99 on each new issue. I might start picking up those X-Men books at Half Price Books. So awesome cover here. Again, I love the foil. I love that DC's doing the foils. I did a video about a month ago talking about my love of foil comics and kind of showing some of my favorite foils. So go check that out if you haven't yet. I've got Absolute Martian Manhunter number 1. And I haven't flipped through any of these comics yet today. I just got back from the comic book shop, and I'm flipping through them really for the first time today. I kind of knew what I wanted. I didn't really need to flip through these in the shop. So I'm kind of doing it here with you guys for the first time. This is always fun, my favorite video to do every week. But Dennis Camp is the writer on this book, and Javier Rodriguez is the artist. And obviously, the most striking thing about this is it seems like we may have a different character playing Martian Manhunter, though I think it still is John Jones. And but the artwork is the most striking thing that obviously stands out here. Some really like almost psychedelic mixed with like crime noir or something. Just a really unique design and all this artwork here. So again, this is another book I'm really looking forward to reading and jumping into. Look at that splash page. That's great. Just some real psychedelic stuff going on here. Sort of reminds me of the, I think it's the artist Trad Moore, I think it was his name, who did the Doctor Strange series a couple years ago. That was really cool. Kind of reminds me of that. Then I got G.I. Joe number 315, the Adam Kubert Ashcan cover here again. I love these black and white covers that they've been putting out for this series that shows off the Adam Kubert artwork. And we've got Chris Mooneyham doing the artwork on here. Larry Hama's the writer. A great team on this book. This is an awesome book, a fun read. Just go check out G.I. Joe. They've got great character designs, lots of action. I highly recommend the Skybound, Energon universe in general, although this is really the only one I've been reading. I've been kind of tangentially trying to keep up on some of the rest of them. So then I got some Ultimate books from Marvel. Ultimate Wolverine number 3, Ultimate Spider-Man number 15, and Ultimates number 10, which actually, this came out a couple weeks ago and it snuck by me. I didn't even realize that it had come out. And but this is written by the same guy who did Absolute Martian Manhunter. I've really enjoyed all this this entire series so far. I really like this team. We've got the original Human Torch on this team. Iron Lad, who's Tony Stark here. He's kind of out of commission at this point, but we've just got Captain America fighting some Nazis here. We get a mention of the invaders here, that's pretty cool. And there's Namor. It looks like we've got some Red Skulls appropriating the Punisher symbol here. Another book I'm really looking forward to reading. I thought the issue with the Luke Cage introduction was kind of a misstep, I feel like, but pretty much every other issue I have recommended from this series. So, and we got the artist Juan Frigeri here. He's the main artist on this book too. He's doing a really great job. Ultimate Wolverine number 3 here. Chris Condon's the writer. Alessandro Cappuccio is the artist. We got Gambit showing up here in this issue. I think this might be Kitty Pryde. Another book I'm really looking forward to reading. All the Ultimate books are $4.99. A little overpriced, but these have all been really good series. Ultimate Wolverine, the Ultimates, Ultimate Spider-Man. Those are the only 3 books I'm reading right now from this line. I had dropped Black Panther and Ultimate X-Men a while back. Just because I got so many comics on my pull. I've got to make some tough decisions sometimes, so. But here we go, Gambit going up against this ultimate killing machine, the Winter Soldier, Wolverine. I've loved Alessandro Cappuccio's artwork from Moon Knight, and then this series as well. Really awesome to see his take on this Wolverine here. Looks like we probably have got Cassandra Nova or some sort of telepath. That looks like her move, though. And here we go. Ultimate Spider-Man 15. Jonathan Hickman is the writer here, and David Messina is the artist on this issue. Marco Cicchetto is the other artist on this book. Looks like we got Peter finally meeting up with his son Richard, who has taken on the moniker of Spider-Man as well in the black costume. This has consistently been the best Marvel book, I feel like. Ultimate Spider-Man. So go pick up the trades if you haven't been able to pick up any of the issues yet. Finding the first couple issues will probably be hard. The first issue is, I think, priced around $90 right now if you want to try and buy it. Might have gone, I haven't checked in a while. Maybe it's gone down a bit in price, but then I got Wolverine Revenge number 5. This is also written by Jonathan Hickman, who's doing Ultimate Spider-Man, and Greg Capullo is the artist on here, coming back to Marvel doing Wolverine. This is the Red Band edition. It's polybagged. I'm not going to open it up yet. I'm going to save that for another video. But I've collected every issue of this series. I've done reviews of every issue. So go on my channel and check those out if you haven't yet, and you get my thoughts on this series so far, Wolverine Revenge. This was a $5.99 comic book, so it's got explicit content, allegedly. And then I got X-Manhunt Omega number 1. This was a $6.99 book. I got a variant cover here by Tony Daniel. Got Cyclops coming through a Magic's portal, trying to blast Xavier here, striking a pose. I just got the variant cover because it was a variant cover. Nothing real special about it, but this wraps up this X-Manhunt storyline, which ran through the last issue of X-Men and Uncanny X-Men and all the other X titles. I did a review of the 2 X-Men issues that involved this storyline, so go check those out if you haven't yet as well. But we get a team up here kind of all the X-Men, it looks like. Exceptional X-Men and X-Force, X-Factor, and both X-Men teams. We get a cast call here, which is cool. The X-Men teams, there's X-Men Alaska and X-Men Louisiana. I prefer X-Men Blue and Gold. They should go back to something like that. Or Blue and Red, however they want to do it. And then, of course, we've got X-Factor and the now canceled X-Force. So, but Xavier's on the run. In the first issue, he broke out of prison to try and find his daughter, who was being captured by some rogue Shi'ar group, and then in the next issue, he just seemed to be battling the X-Men. He was in a psychic battle with Kid Omega, and that's as far as I got, so. Looks like got Cyclops using his optic blast to shoot magic into the air. He calls her the Red Surfer. That's slightly cringe, but this artwork in here looks really cool. I'm really liking this Cyclops. Let's see who this artist is. We got Gleb Melkinov and Frederica Manson and Enid Balam are all the artists here. And I think this is the Gleb Melkinov portion of the book. But it looks like things are getting completely out of control here. Another book I'm interested to be reading. So great splash page there of the X-Men team. Wolverine stabbing Cyclops for some reason to wake him up. He must be being mind controlled. The only way they could stop it was to stab him, maybe. Wolverine looks... he's missing some body parts here. We've got Xavier waking up here with Lilandra at the Shi'ar, so... looks like we're going to get some character development, hopefully. Some closure to what's been going on with Xavier and the X-Men here the past year since the end of the Krakoan era. This is pretty much, if it hasn't been a year, it's definitely been just about a year since they've rebooted these X-Men. So let me know in the comments what you think. If you've been reading X-Men or any of these other books, what you think of them. Why you're not reading them. Last book I got today is Savage Dragon, number 276. And Savage Dragon is consistently always my favorite comic book that comes out when it comes out. It's been coming out pretty monthly for about the past year, which has been awesome. Erik Larsen, of course, the creator and artist and writer of every single issue. We always get an awesome double splash page or two. There's a new Super Patriot here. We've got the return of the original Dragon design, although this is not the original Savage Dragon. It's Paul Dragon from another universe. He's just taken the form of basically the design that the dragon that we know. So we got Amy Dragon and Walter the Tiger here. Looks like they're going on an adventure in this issue. They're on the cover here. I like that Dragon pretty consistently has a cover that's going to show you what's going on in the book, and it's got that old school feel to it throughout the entire issue. And there's no ads in any of these books either. These are just this is just an independent comic. So, I mean, even though Larson is I think he's the CFO of Image at this point, but so he's one of the corporate guys, but still just doing his thing on Savage Dragon. This is another book I will have a review of very soon. We get a backup story here involving Aquarina. Looks like Mako is also here in this issue. Multiple page backup story. That's always cool to see. Paolo Leonidri is the artist. Might have pronounced that wrong. Sorry about that. But you get the cover for the backup story here on the back. Savage Dragon, $3.99. I love the old school logo style to this one. So that's it. Thanks again for watching. These are all the comics I picked up today. If you want to see me specifically review any of these, let me know, and I'll try and do those first. I'll get them to the front of the line, so to speak. Taking requests here. So I'm looking forward to this Batman Hush. I'm going to probably be reading that first. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Go read comics.